Hello, I'm Ralph Edwards. It wasn't often that we surprised two people on a single episode of This Is Your Life. Laurel and Hardy were a perfect example of how you couldn't do one without the other, and the subjects of this Classics edition fit the same mold. From childhood, they were inseparable, and from the moment they scored their first musical hit, they soared to the top with 18 gold records, 7 platinum records, and 3 Grammy Awards together. So I had to say, This Is Your Life to both of them. Let's watch as I do.
I'm standing outside a Hollywood landmark. Now it's Herb Alpert's A&M Records. But 50 years ago, it was the Charlie Chaplin Studios. Silent movies were created here then. Now the nation's leading sounds are produced here, today's hit records. Our about-to-be-surprised guest comes from the very top of the musical world. The truth is, two people will be surprised when they hear the words, "This is your life." I'll meet you inside. Come along.
This is Your Life, an American tradition with Ralph Edwards.
Karen? Oh, it's a pretty dress.
Thank you.
How are you?
Just fine, thanks.
Yeah. You know what we're doing? We're doing it's a documentary show for, A&M. And Jerry will be here in a bit. We're doing it with all the artists, and it's going to be for, promotion and possibly, for movies or something like that. It's possible.
Herb Alpert, documentary, scene 26, take 1.
So we'll listen to...
Hello, Herb, Karen, and Richard. I'm sorry to interrupt this great music of yours, but I have an important announcement for two people in this studio. It's so important that I'll say it in person. Hi, everybody. My name's Ralph Edwards, and I'm here to surprise one of the hottest teams in musical history, you might say. There are 3 gold records for We've Only Just Begun and Close to You, and an album are examples of the talent involved here. Well, I don't think we can delay it any longer. Richard and Karen Carpenter, this is your life.
What?
I don't. Herb, thank you very much. Herb Alpert, helping us like this is something we'll never be able to repay. Did it cross your mind at all that it might be your life? We were a little blanched a little, when I came out there. You're a giant in this business, and we'll find out the major part you played in the lives of carpenters when we arrive at... What's that?
We're too young for this.
Oh, you say that in your songs all the time. Are you kidding? Now, do you know the show at all?
I watched Red Nichols when he was on it.
A few years ago. Don't get out of hand here now, Richard boy. Well, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going now?
No, I don't know where
we're going back to our This Is Your Life theater, and lots of things are going to happen back there. As your hit tune is saying, we've only just begun. Thank you again, Herb Alpert. Come on here, gang. Let's get it.
A kiss for luck and we're on.
And now, here are Ralph Edwards and tonight's surprise guests, Karen and Richard Carpenter.
It's a little bit different than Aberdeen, South Dakota, huh, Karen?
You're going to fall asleep for this one. Now, wait a minute. Who are these guys, anyhow?
I don't know.
Well, one is Doug Strawn. Hello, Doug.
Right, hi.
And one is Gary Sims, I think.
Gary, yeah.
These are 2 members of your group. Is that right?
Exactly.
What is all this Aberdeen stuff?
Well, because we all like to drive, we...
All of you? Or
yeah,
just
well, Richard enjoys it the most. He's a car freak, you see. It's a strange thing. No,
a car freak?
And we drove from Murray, Kentucky to, if you remember, to Aberdeen, South Dakota, 29 hours. We had to do a concert in Aberdeen. And we fell asleep practically during the show.
It was what, Gary?
Disaster.
A disaster show. Well, let's forget about it now because it's all behind us, Let's go up to the stage and talk about your successes. Thank you very much, Doug and Gary. Come on up and see us. How do you feel about all this, anyhow?
Oh, it's great.
Well, sit back here now and relax, Richard and Karen. Did you ever think anything like this would happen to you?
No, absolutely not.
So we've only just begun, and the great new American phenomenon has happened. Young people, within almost minutes of time, earning success. In this instance, with real talent, Karen singing and drumming, and Richard composing, singing, and playing several instruments. Let's go back to the beginning, which was not too long ago. New Haven, Connecticut, 1 year after the end of World War II. Now, this house is where you, Richard, were born on October 15th, 1946. Does it look familiar?
Oh, yeah.
Which window was yours? Oh, it's gone now. Karen comes along 3.5 years later, March 2nd, 1950. Karen finds her talent as a musical performer, toe dancing, while Richard spends endless hours listening to records. Now, how old were you when the piano came into the Carpenter house, Richard?
The first time it came in, I guess I was around 8 or 9.
What do you mean? It was repossessed and sent in
I
again?
was, my cousin wanted to take a piano, and they got a real good one.
And then after 3 years of lessons, everyone knows the combination of Richard and the piano has only just begun.
I recommended you to Yale University Music School when you were 15 years old. You were accepted and studied classical music.
And who subjected you to endless hours of piano practice? From New Haven, Connecticut, your former music teacher, Hank Will. Hank, did you ever think your student, Richard Carpenter, would earn 3 gold records?
Certainly not.
Thanks.
No, really, Ralph, I was very well aware of Richard's talent.
Yes.
And in fact, after a year of taking lessons with him, I told his parents that he was well beyond me.
It's because he couldn't stand me.
Richard has his own interpretation of music, and this uniqueness is what made him what he is today.
And in a way, Richard and Karen, you played Cupid. Hank married your cousin, Joan, who's sitting in our audience right out there.
One word, Hank.
Thank you, Hank. Now, Richard, while you were inside playing piano, Karen, you were outside playing baseball, right?
Yeah.
What position did you play?
I like to pitch.
I understand you did there with the neighborhood team. They're all guys, and you played. And for both of you, your